Hi. So, I'm gonna go into this with the assumption that you don't have the slightest idea of who I am. So, to start off with, my name is Ben. I'm a 21-year-old guy. And I've been on self improvement for like a while now. I'd say a bit over 2 years, since that's when I first started exercising. And I've done so relatively consistently since then. Although I didn't even really know about the self improvement community or anything back then. So it can, how you define where I start self improvement can certainly vary based on definition, but yeah, welcome to my self improvement journey. This is gonna be a YouTube series or a set of videos, like a vlog type thing mixed with the usual self improvement stuff that you probably seen a lot on YouTube. Yeah, I plan on sharing my own experiences with self improvement and my struggles with it, my wins with it, things I decided to focus on and why, etc., etc. Yeah, the point is kind of to, in a sense, well, yeah, as the name would suggest, share my own journey to become the best version of myself. So let's give a bit of background about myself more than that I just did. If you'd go on my YouTube channel, you'd see that there's been about a 6-month gap since my last upload. So about 6 months ago, I quit my job. I was working at a convenience store. I had worked there for approximately 1.5 years. The original plan had been to be shorter, but it ended up stretching out a bit. I mean, my original plan was really just work and earn some money while I was thinking about what I wanted to do. But yeah, I decided to quit because I felt I was becoming way too stagnant there. I felt I wasn't really pushing myself and making progress in life. And while I still think that was a overall good decision, I certainly wasn't ready for that decision, because I had been pretty consistent with self-improvement for a while at that point, but I ended up having a big fall off after that, because I'm guessing the biggest reason for that was that the big change to my schedule. The fact that I had so much free time, so it's much easier to fall back to bad habits. And yeah, I guess the fact that it's a lot easier to procrastinate when you think that you have so much time in the day to do everything. You just keep putting stuff off. That too. But yeah, also, yeah, I've since been spending a lot of time thinking and trying to, rebuild my habits and get back onto self-improvement real well. I mean, I never really completely fell off, in the sense that I was it was always on my mind. Like I wanted to, keep doing stuff, but I just procrastination was the big thing. Lack of consistency with habits. Yeah, I mean, the reason why there's been a big gap in like YouTube videos is because like originally I had planned to start uploading a lot more actually since I quit my job. So I thought, I have so much time now, and the complete opposite happened because, well, yeah, first there was fall off, and then I've tried to get back onto YouTube actually quite a lot of times, especially over the course of this like autumn. I've tried recording something similar to this many times, but like I'm super self-critical about this. So that's another thing I'm definitely gonna have to work on. That's one of the big reasons why I even started doing YouTube in the first place. The fact that, well, one, I'm very afraid of putting myself out there. I'm very socially anxious, and the second thing being pushing my comfort zone in that. Yeah. Now then, I mentioned that I've been on self-improvement for like varying on your definition of where it starts, but I'd say a bit over 2 years. Despite that, I'd still consider myself like a beginner, a person who's not that far into it, because although I've been on it for a while now, I've had this kind of loop of like getting consistent at stuff only to fall off at some point, then rebuild my habits only to fall off again. And that's one of the biggest things I want to work on, and I think YouTube could help a lot, kind of having this platform that like holds me accountable. So like kind of forcing myself to put myself out there, just in case there's like anybody who's like out there rooting for me, if that makes sense. Because that also, like, if there's a single person who's out there and like ends up watching a video of mine and ends up finding some sort of inspiration or motivation or whatever out of it, like I'm gonna feel like I'm held accountable, that like I have to keep going, not just for the sake of myself, but also for that person. But yeah, I mean, like I mentioned, I'm a beginner. I've never gotten like I've never really tried to quit this generally frowned upon habits in the self-improvement community, being like social media and video games particularly. I mean, social media wise, I mean, I've never really been big into social media other than YouTube. I've, over the course of the past however many years, for a long ass time, I've spent so much time watching YouTube. Like that's been my social media of choice. But yeah, I've definitely tried to and managed to reduce the time spent on them over time, but I'm unsure if I like even wanna quit them completely. Video games in particular, because yeah, I know they're like, you know, bad for you, or like there are negative aspects to them, but like also I enjoy them. So I'm wondering if there's like a healthy balance to that. And that's the one reason why I haven't even tried to quit quit them, because I want to believe that there's a healthy balance to this stuff. Yeah. So if that sounds at all relatable to you, then maybe you'll benefit something from following along. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, the point of this was really just to give like a bit of an introduction, also to get myself back onto YouTube. That's the big one, honestly. And yeah, I mean, if this sounds interesting, if you're at all, you know, if you yourself have been interested in self-improvement, have struggled with consistency with self-improvement, or even if you really haven't and you're already far along, you know, if you're interested in following along as someone else goes through their self-improvement journey, maybe learning something along the way, here's something to follow, I guess. But yeah, I think that about does it for this one. See you in the next part of this, or whatever I decide to make next. But yeah, see you.